You guys, Catherine is speaking out, something I never expected her to do, but not only has she spoken out in this book that she is about to come out with, but she has gone on the Call Her Daddy podcast this week, and we're going to get into everything she has had to say. On Tuesday, it was announced Catherine was going on the Call Her Daddy podcast, and Austin was certainly not happy as he commented on the post saying, "Dropping this on my daughter's birthday is crazy." People did call him out saying because he was so worried about his kids when he was cheating, and also said, but cheating on his pregnant wife isn't crazy. This comes after Catherine announced on Mother's Day that she was going to be releasing a 2-part book that detailed her life. The first couple chapters of the book were released online, which exposed the fact that she admitted Austin did cheat on her. She said she found out when she was pregnant with their 3rd child. Austin got ripped up online, and he came out to respond and said that he did cheat on Catherine, but she knew he was cheating, blaming the fact that they were not doing it for a year as to why he claimed she gave him permission to cheat. And he claimed that she was lying in her book and didn't understand why she was writing about him, and also accused her of being a danger to their children with the way that she does ayahuasca ceremonies in the house where his kids sleep. She came online to clap back, saying she actually spoke about him highly in the rest of the book, calling him her teacher in life, but he was only focused on what he saw. But now on the Call Her Daddy podcast, she was addressing even more. She said for so long she felt silenced. Not that someone was silencing her, but she was silencing herself, and she was finally ready to share her story. Now, Catherine starts by talking about her parents and how she met Austin, and she speaks highly of him. She says she knew from the minute that they went on their first date that she was going to marry him and have kids with him. They had met at a party, and later Austin reached out to her on social media. She says the first time that they kissed was the first time that they said I love you. 2 months after they met, she was pregnant. She then gets into them starting YouTube and it being one of Austin's friends who suggested it to them, and it just came naturally from there. Then we start the real questions as Alex asks her about people who accuse her and Austin of having exploited their children on YouTube, to which she denied.
Do you have any hesitations in the beginning or later on about putting your kids on camera?
Never. And you know why, Alex?
Why?
Because back in the day, it was really new. Like YouTube, it's been a thing for a while, but we were really like that, like, I hate to say the word, but I feel like we kind of pioneered that like family vlogging experience. You know what I mean? It's like we were the first to do it at that magnitude.
There are people that accuse you and Austin of exploiting your kids. Like, what do you say to that?
Yeah, I just think that like when we first started, it was so pure. It was like pure intentions. It was like, obviously we want to make a living, you know, like anyone wants to make a living, you got to work. But it was more like we're just being present with our family, our daughter. And
so much of your success is through your children. Like, did you guys have a big conversation about setting them up with money and like putting money away for them? Or was it more just like, it's all the families?
Yeah, no, they have their separate bank accounts. Actually very early on in my career, I think 2017 when Elle was about a year old, we got her a bank account, you know? Yeah, I think that those were the conversations and things we were having.
Yeah.
But in terms of like exploitation and stuff like that, never crossed our mind. That was like, I just feel like we were just the beginning of something new.
How do you feel about it now?
You know, we're in the age of technology and, you know, it's like, there's no right or wrong, I don't think. Like,
Alex asks how much they were making at their highest time, and she said 7 figures a month, but she says that she was numb to it and that they didn't have the right people around them and they made bad business decisions. Now for some tea, she said that Austin made a lot of the financial decisions without her and money would be missing.
In the book, you write that Austin made a lot of financial decisions without asking you, and that it was so extreme you would check your bank accounts and see 6 figures missing. Where was all the money going?
Yeah, there was moments where, you know, I'd see some money coming out and it was, you know, to pay this, pay that. And it was like, I didn't feel like I was having that like wife, like that partner, that husband and wife conversation about our finances. And it would be heartbreaking to look at the bank because I was very well aware of what was in there. And it's like, where did that go?
And we get into the home foreclosure, which if you remember, they were making videos telling everyone the internet was lying on their name over this. It was not that they didn't pay the bills. She said their jumbo loan ended and they didn't have a certificate of occupancy and nothing could save them.
Leading up to that moment, I felt like there was a lot of things that I was losing control over, right? My family, my relationship, our career, everything, right? There was a lot of narratives and things that were being said. And I was really strong. And I was like, you know, I'm going to be strong and, you know, I'm going to keep fighting. And we have our home, you know, we have our home. Our kids are happy. They're healthy. We're healthy. Everything's fine. And so one day I wake up and I get a phone call. It's my father-in-law. He said, Catherine, the house is under foreclosures all over the news. And I'm like, what do you mean? what do you mean? He goes, well, your loan ended and it's a jumbo loan. No one's going to accept you. You don't have the certificate of occupancy. But I'm like, but I've been paying the mortgage every month for 3 years. Everything. What do I need to do? What do I need to pay? I'll save it. What do we need? There's nothing you can do. It's under foreclosure. It's gone. You have 30 days to move out.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And it was heartbreaking. I cried an ocean. And it's crazy because out of all the things that were happening in that era, that was the thing that really broke me.
Back when they made the video addressing their home foreclosure, they said that the house was falling apart and essentially didn't pay the remaining amount on the house after their loan ended.
I pay, it's direct deposit.
You pay.
Oh,
we pay the mortgage.
So it just goes and then it comes back. And I'm like, what the hell? Why does this money just come back into my account, right? Because I do all accounting and look at everything and stuff. And then I call Alan, his dad, who helps us a lot with the house and other things. And I'm like, hey, Alan, what's going on with the lenders? Like, my money just came back. He goes, oh, they're saying that they don't want to do it anymore. Like, they don't want to keep.
They don't want to be the lenders anymore.
Yeah, they don't want to be the lenders anymore. Basically, go find somebody else. Yeah. And I'm like, but I can't find somebody else because I don't have certificate of occupancy. No one's gonna do it for me.
Yeah.
So then, and mind you, it's $8 million or something. So even if I was a billionaire, I would have just put $8 million to keep a piece of shit, right? What the hell? So anyways, so then I'm like, whatever, you know what? I'm just gonna freaking keep living my life, keep doing what I do, just freaking be positive, just stay positive, Catherine, stay positive. And then one day, I'm on Instagram or something and someone goes, why is your house under foreclosure? And I'm like, what the hell? My house under foreclosure?
Then we get into the cheating and how they started as rumors, and she said she didn't believe it at first.
When it first started, my heart sank. I'm like, oh my gosh. I remember sitting with myself, oh my gosh, is this gonna happen? And then it was oh, well, I see him, I'm with him every day. We're co-parenting, we're married, we're business partners. I mean, when is he gonna have time? But it's really interesting. I was telling my mom the other day, I remember when I was 16 years old and I walked into a room where the TV was on and there was, it was that talk show, Tyra Banks. Mm-hmm. And there was a lady who said, if a man has enough time to go into the bathroom, he has enough time to cheat. And it just stuck with me. And I thought, does he have enough time to cheat on me? You know what I mean? And so that was kind of the beginning. It's I don't know what's true or not. And, and I'd even have moments where we'd be laying in bed, just falling asleep. And I'd get a text from a random number. Your husband is out at a party with me, And I'm thinking he's right over here. So there's moments I didn't know what to believe.
She says he denied it at the time. And she does say that when the cheating allegations started, the very first one, she doesn't believe it to be true, which is interesting.
You trusted him?
I did. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really trusted him.
When you look back at the very beginning, the very beginning allegations, do you believe even then he was cheating?
No.
She later gets into the times that she knew he was actually cheating. She says that she had just had their second daughter 6 months prior and Austin needed to go to Miami for a meeting. She said she wanted him to feel free and not held back, and she heard him on the phone with other women.
He pocket dialed me accidentally and I heard women in the back. There was a couple women and I thought, okay, well, I guess my husband's hanging out with women. Yeah. I'm thinking, whatever, hung up the phone, continued my day. A couple of months go by and this blonde male makeup artist makes this video on YouTube talking about my husband and how he was in Miami and there was this group of people and there was all these girls and there was this boat and all these, and to be honest with you, till this day, I never watched the video. But I have gotten that information from some good friends who watched it for me and were able to process it for me and help me process it. And I was pregnant in that moment. And I had to listen to that. And nobody knew I was pregnant. I was having my son. And I remember bawling and thinking, is this true? And even if it's not true, why are people saying this? This is so detailed and and I believe, I didn't believe the horrors, but it was am I just being stupid right now? Am I just really not sitting with this? Mm-hmm. Or do I vindicate him? Do I vindicate our family? And that's what I did.
The video I'm sure she's referring to is when Cole Kerrigan posted his video about Austin and his dad. Catherine said at the time she was just focusing on being pregnant, honestly, and getting through this time period. And when it came to the cheating, Austin said it wasn't true and all she wanted to do was fix the situation.
It's more how do we fix this? Because this is not true. And he's like, yeah, that's not true. That's, whatever, this guy, and he's making things up. And oh my God, he's trying to extort me and this and that. And, some of those things were true. Some of them weren't. And I thought, how do we fix it? And I was just lying to myself.
Yeah.
I knew deep inside something didn't feel right.
Yeah.
She explains the minute she knew he was cheating was when they took their daughter to her first haircut. They're filming, there's fans around them, his assistant friend is with them, and her phone dies. And she asks Austin for his phone quickly so they don't miss the moment. And she says that's when she saw a text come through that had her believe the rumors.
As soon as I got the phone,
No.
like out of a movie, this long text comes through. If you really love your wife, you wouldn't be da 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 da. And I like my brain scanned it, but I wasn't able to read it fully. But in that moment, my heart drops. I'm pregnant. There's people watching us. The camera's on. It felt like, it just felt surreal. The assistant notices, looks at him. He grabs the phone from me and instantly deletes the message. And I thought, oh my gosh, it's true.
She said she got home and blacked out just trying to get answers from him.
Blacked out. I was like yelling, screaming, tell me, please, just tell me who that was. Please, I feel so stupid. Just tell me, I'm having a baby. Please, just tell me. And I ran out of the house. I got in my car and I just started driving. And I didn't know where I was driving, just driving. Crying in ocean, bawling. I couldn't even see where I was driving. And I thought I need to park somewhere. So I went to a park, parked at the park, put my hands on the wheel. And I said, God, if you hear me, please tell me what to do.
She said a voice told her to just be strong, get through the pregnancy, and she said she went home, acted like nothing happened, and they didn't talk for a couple days, but then he confessed and she just wanted to fix it.
And I texted him and I was like, we need to talk. And we took a drive. We met in the middle of a street and we got in the car and he told me who she was and he showed me. And I was like, okay, so that was the girl you were talking to a couple months back. Now it's all making sense. Like you said, you were talking to a girl that needed help with Snapchat. And I'm thinking like, why is a married man talking to a woman about Snapchat? Like Snapchat wasn't even monetized in the day. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you doing? Like, okay, this is making sense. Okay, this is making sense. Okay. So I thought, okay, well, what do we need to do? Like, how can we move on from this? Like, what?
She says it never felt apologetic from him and says she never even heard him admit that he cheated up until a few weeks ago when those chapters of her book got leaked and he addressed it online.
Even through our divorce, even through everything, I never heard him say the words, I cheated, until about a week ago when that first chapter of my book came out. I've never heard him say the words, I cheated. And when I heard the words, I was like, oh my God, finally I heard it. Thank you so much. That was all I was waiting for. Thank you. That's all I needed to hear. You could have just said it to me. You could have just been honest with me and just told me. But it was like I was being gaslighted. Like it wasn't actually happening. And it was like, yeah, I think that finally hearing those words was so healing for me because it's like I wasn't going crazy. Like it was everywhere. Everyone was saying it.
And she says what he said on Snapchat was all lies, and it really bothered her that he tried to make it seem like she gave him permission to cheat.
But the one thing he said that really, really just like, it was like a punch to the gut, was that he said that yes, I cheated and she was okay with it as long as, he said, as long as I said you don't embarrass me. And that is not true. I never, ever said that. I would never say that. And I would never want my kids to think that that is okay to cheat on your husband or your wife. And I will make sure that I raise them and that they know that they never, ever do that because that is so wrong. And you never cheat on the person you love.
And she says there were like 20 some women that he cheated with.
But I know of many.
Many as in like?
I know for sure of 3. Like for sure.
Have they ever reached out to you?
No, but they're out there in the world acting like that never happened probably. And I know the truth.
How many do you think there are?
I don't know. I saw some headline things saying he said there was 20 or something. I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah.
Because I didn't watch his full video. But I don't know if he did say that, kind of trying to cover himself.
Yeah.
Because I think when he saw the beginning, the first chapter of my book, he thought maybe that I wrote a lot more about him, but I kind of didn't in a sense. Like, to be honest with you, it's a memoir about my life. But I will say that when you write a book, you always put the hardest part of your journey in the beginning of the book, right? To catch the reader, to really draw them in. That's just something that as writers is common. And so he really got it backwards.
Alex then asks her about Tana Mojo because Tana has admitted that she lied to Catherine when she was with Jake, and Austin made her lie to Catherine and say that a lip liner was hers when it wasn't.
Tana Mojo recently revealed that she covered for Austin after you found lipstick in Austin's car. What really happened there?
So she covered for him, which I believe that it's probably true, definitely happened, because I remember we had a Lamborghini at the time. I never drove that car. And I got in one day as a passenger and I noticed there was a lip liner or lip gloss, something like that. and it wasn't mine. And I thought, and I'm like, whose is this? He's like, oh, so and so got in my car the other day, and his girlfriend was on the lap, and I drove them down the street to get into their car. And I just said, I'm like, I don't believe you. Like, at this point now, I don't believe you.
Right.
He's like, I'm gonna call him right now. And so I guess she was there.
And she says that Tana publicly talking about that is hurtful.
I think her publicly talking about that is hurtful. Why didn't you call me? Message me. Tell, oh, hey girl, I was there on that phone call. I just want to let you know, that wasn't true.
As far as Austin hiring nannies to sleep with them, she says that never happened. They didn't have nannies, but she confirms this Miami yacht story where multiple people were in bed, which if you remember, Cole was talking about this in his video exposing the Ace family and Austin. And in this video, he says that Austin was with his own dad participating in this nasty, disgusting event.
Did you ever get confirmation if the infamous yacht happened?
Yes, I actually did. Yeah.
Wow. And that was when he butt dialed you that weekend?
That was that weekend, yeah.
How did you get confirmation?
Through a friend who's married to a guy that was physically there.
She talks about him denying inviting a woman to their Staples Center event and the fact that, he was talking about this on Snapchat, that it never happened.
And that's where I found out all the lies. So that moment was a significant moment in my life. So of course I'm going to talk about it if that was life-changing for me, because I was pregnant when all of these things were going on, and I got confirmation from one of his family members saying, I told him not to bring that girl, and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm thinking what, you knew too? I'm thinking oh my gosh, I'm just being blindsided over here.
She later talks about their intimate life and the fact that after she found out about the cheating, she shut down intimately with him. And she later talks about the fact that Austin tried to make her look crazy by saying that she thought she was the Virgin Mary and she doesn't think that at all. And she talks about why she did stay with him for so long. And she says that as much as she was hurt by him, she was protecting him from what the public would think about him and didn't want the father of her children to get publicly humiliated. But over time, she realized that he already was publicly humiliated by everything that has been said about him. Now, going to the moment that she knew they were done though, it wasn't until she went to Brazil for a retreat, she says, after her 33rd birthday, that she had this experience on ayahuasca, and she came home and realized that the two of them were on different vibrations and they needed to separate. She said she wanted a divorce. He just said, okay, and that was it. She said she didn't want to make a YouTube video about it because there was no way that he was going to tell the truth with the cameras on if he couldn't tell it when they were off. And she addresses how he's gone on Snapchat and played recordings of her reaction to the video that he made that he wanted to post online, apparently. And she says that she feels like this whole thing was a setup, that he recorded her saying that, don't post that because you're going to look bad, to use it against her later on somehow, some way.
That's crazy that he's secretly recording
manipulative. It's manipulative.
And it's illegal.
Well, that's what I was told too. And I thought, well, I don't want to go that route because, we were filming each other and doing pranks and things throughout the day. And then he would say, well, we used to film each other. And then the fans would say, well, you guys were always filming each other. And I thought, oh my gosh, can my book just come out? Because I'm I just want to move on, truly.
She also addressed the ayahuasca and the fact that Austin said that he was concerned for his kids' safety. She says she never does it when the kids are in the house and nobody has ever been concerned about the use, and ultimately Austin just wants her to look crazy. Now, in addressing when she met her current boyfriend Igor, she admits that it was on that Brazil trip that they met, but her and Austin were done.
So I met him on my Brazil retreat. Met in the middle of the Amazon. I'm very honest just with my journey. I think for a long time, I was afraid of sharing timelines because I was so in the limelight and on the camera all the time. And it's the timeline started to kind of scare me a little. Now I own them. Yeah. It's okay. It was over between us. And it had been many years of us just not having this emotional, intimate marriage.
So Catherine was airing out Austin, and honestly, she wasn't even saying anything that was so bad that we didn't already know. I think, she was just telling her truth, and there were times where she was talking highly about him, but I'm sure Austin will take all of this as Catherine exposing him and talking negatively about him, and I'm sure we will hear from him in the coming days. But that was what was said on the Call Her Daddy podcast. I want to know what you guys think about all of this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.